If you're thinking about grabbing the Sony WF-1000XM5 earbuds, because everyone's raving about their noise cancellation and sound quality, hold up, because I've got some things you need to know before dropping $248.00 on these sleek little buds. But here's what surprised me. Despite Sony's promise of the best ever call clarity and advanced noise cancellation, the experience isn't as flawless as the hype makes it seem. In fact, these earbuds have some quirks that may make you reconsider whether they're worth the investment. So, keep watching if you want the honest truth on whether the Sony WF-1000XM5 will actually upgrade your music game or leave you frustrated and searching for alternatives. Let me unravel this story for you. First, who exactly are these earbuds for? The WF-1000XM5 claim to be perfect for anyone who wants to enjoy immersive music without ambient noise. Think commuters, remote workers, audiophiles craving deep sound details, or just people who want a stylish, comfy fit that blocks out distractions. Sony packs them with dual feedback microphones and noise isolation tips to tackle noisy environments. Plus, the battery promises up to 8 hours of playback, stretchable to 24 with the charging case. Sounds like a dream, right? But the dream has its cracks. Right off the bat, let's talk noise cancellation. Sony says these buds cancel out more external noise than ever before. And while the tech is indeed advanced, featuring their integrated processor V2 and custom drivers, there's a catch. At high frequencies like sirens, sudden honks, or sharp office noises, the noise cancellation stumbles. It's like the earbuds suddenly get stage fright and let some sound through, ruining that peaceful bubble you expect. So if you're a frequent traveler or someone who relies heavily on noise cancellation to drown out cafes or busy streets, you might find it inconsistent. Here's a question to consider. Is partial noise cancellation enough when you could pay less and get more consistency? Now, shifting gears to sound quality, a place where Sony usually rules, and here's where it gets complicated. The WF-1000XM5 are tuned for wide-frequency reproduction and detailed vocals, which means they try to reveal every nuance of your favorite tracks. And boy, they do shine with classical music or acoustic sets, bringing out instruments with crystal clarity. But if you're an EDM or bass head listener, you might feel the punch is a little underwhelming. The low end isn't as pumping as some competitors at this price point, and at times, the clarity comes off as clinical rather than warm or immersive. Think of it like wearing a tuxedo to a rock concert. Looks sharp, but misses the vibe. Ever heard an audiophile complain about bass wobbling? Well, these earbuds took a polite sip of coffee instead of a double espresso. When it comes to calls, Sony markets these as offering their best-ever call quality, but user feedback is quite mixed. The dual microphones do a decent job cutting down background noise, but only when conditions are ideal. Outdoors or windy environments still prove a challenge, and voices can sound muffled or robotic. If you often take calls on the go or rely on voice clarity for meetings, this can be a deal breaker. Imagine trying to tell your boss you didn't mean to send that weird meme because the earbuds garbled your voice. Awkward, right? Here's a twist for you. Sometimes, mid-budget earbuds with simpler tech outperform these in call clarity. Comfort and style. Sony nails the design game here. These earbuds are smaller and lighter than their predecessor, with a glossy finish that screams elegance. Noise isolation earbud tips fit snugly, and the luxurious feel is genuine. But small doesn't always mean comfortable for everyone. Some people report ear fatigue after a few hours, especially during workouts or extended listening sessions. And yes, the glossy texture can be a fingerprint magnet, which means you'll be cleaning them more often than you listen. It's like buying a fancy sports car and then worrying about dirt on the paint every 5 minutes. Battery life is another mixed bag. Sony promises up to 8 hours on a full charge, with 24 hours including the case. That quick 3-minute charge for 1 hour of playback sounds great in theory, perfect for when you're late for a party or a meeting. But in real-life tests, consistent daily use shows the battery drains faster, especially when noise cancellation is active. So don't be shocked if your buds die halfway through your commute, forcing you to scramble for the charging case. If you depend on long battery life without frequent recharges, this might be frustrating. And before we wrap this up, let's address the elephant in the room, the price and value proposition. At $248.00, the WF-1000XM5 sits in premium territory, competing with models from Apple, Bose, and Sennheiser. The 3.8-star average rating on Amazon reflects this split between high expectations and real-world performance. When you spend this much, you expect near-perfect results, but instead you get a mix of strong audio quality, sometimes shaky noise cancellation, hit-or-miss call clarity, and less-than-ideal battery stamina. It feels a bit like ordering a gourmet meal and getting a tasty appetizer with a side of fries rather than the main course. Alright, at this point you might be wondering what I'd recommend. Should you avoid the WF-1000XM5 like a cat avoids water? Not quite. If you prioritize sound detail, a stylish design, and moderate noise cancellation for everyday use, these earbuds have a solid chance of impressing you. Plus, Sony's commitment to eco-friendly packaging and recycled materials adds a bonus for the environment-conscious buyer, because saving the planet sounds better with your favorite playlist. However, if your priorities center around robust noise cancellation, bomb-proof call quality on the go, or intense bass performance, you might want to explore other options. Alternatives like the Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds II, or even newer Apple AirPods Pro models, offer competitive features that could serve you better in these aspects. Now for a bit of fun. Did you hear about the guy who bought WF-1000XM5 earbuds to avoid hearing his mother-in-law's advice? Turns out, they canceled noise well, but not his guilt. Or why don't wireless earbuds tell secrets? Because they might leak. And speaking of leaky secrets, I once used the Sony WF-1000XM5 amid a blizzard and thought my music was buffering. Turns out I had snow in my ears. Lastly, here's one for the audiophiles. Why did the musician break up with his earbuds? They just didn't resonate. To sum it up, the Sony WF-1000XM5 earbuds are a classy, ambitious product trying to push wireless noise cancellation forward with sound clarity and eco-friendliness. But they stumble in crucial areas that may matter most to you: consistent noise cancellation, call clarity, and battery life. Whether they're worth $248 depends on what you value most in your earbuds. If you want the best sound detail and a sleek design, these will delight you. If you demand flawless calls and rock-solid noise blocking on the daily, consider exploring similar-priced competitors. If you found this review helpful and want to get the best deal on the Sony WF-1000XM5, check out the link in the description below. I've made sure you get the best price on Amazon with reliable shipping and returns. Remember, knowledge is power, and a little skepticism saves your wallet. Thanks for watching and happy listening.